Malaysian people are angry. They believe they have been robbed.
We're not talking about 1 million or 2 million, we're talking about billions of dollars. And yet the Malaysian government acted as if nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened.
The money has gone missing from a company called 1MDB. 1MDB is what's known as a sovereign wealth fund, an investment fund intended to benefit the people of Malaysia.
The foundations are being laid for today's aspirations to become tomorrow's reality.
Tony Puer is an opposition MP. He spent the last 8 years trying to find out what happened to the money invested in 1MDB.
I thought it was really strange for the government to set up a company and borrow about $1.2 billion and invested practically 90% of the funds in a single company out of Saudi Arabia that no one has really heard of.
That company was called Saudi. Its co-founder was the 7th son of a Saudi king, Prince Turki bin Abdullah.
And if you do a bit of digging, you realize that the company was set up barely 3 or 4 years ago and is run by a guy who is no older than 32 years old. It's like, what? And that's when you start asking questions and start digging to see if there's anything strange going on and if it is even a real deal in the first place.
The story of 1MDB's first deal begins in the Mediterranean.
The very start of the whole 1MDB adventure with Saudi took place on a grand yacht off Monaco, the Tatouche, which had been hired by Prince Turki for the occasion.
On board the Prince's hired yacht was a very special guest, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Najib Razak.
Prince Turki was there from the start, and he entertained Najib and his wife Rosma and some of their children on board this yacht at the time that the deal was made.
1MDB had invested $1 billion in a young Saudi prince's company. But within days, $700 million had allegedly gone missing. Saudi insist they have done nothing wrong and say that leaked emails attributed to them have been tampered with. 1MDB would go on to invest many more billions in other joint ventures. Most of this cash would also disappear.
It was a con from its conception. Najib is not only the Prime Minister, but the Finance Minister, and he was also the sole signatory and shareholder of this 1MDB fund. So it was totally opaque, and he had total control over how the money was raised and how it was spent. And I had quite a lot of fun actually unravelling the mystery of how it was spent.
The Malaysian people were left with nothing except huge debts.
You were promised a tasty bowl of noodles, full of meat, vegetables, dumplings, and the people will get to enjoy the feast. I was suspicious. We know that they are going to siphon off the meat and give it to themselves. But what actually took place, what really took place, not only they took the meat, they took the dumplings, they took the whole bowl of noodles. And the only thing they left for us is for us to taste the spicy chili. It hurts.
But the Malaysian Prime Minister fared slightly better, according to leaked emails.
What they told me was that $681 million had been transferred into the Prime Minister's personal account in March 2013 as part of the 1MDB supposed joint ventures of that time.
Nobody believed it when it first happened. Why would the Prime Minister be so stupid as to transfer that big an amount of money into his personal bank account? No, when I met people on the streets, they were asking me, nah, that's false news. But later on, we discovered it was true.
The scandal now hit the US. The FBI called 1MDB the biggest kleptocracy case in history. They started seizing assets. A painting by Monet, a $33 million jet, properties in Beverly Hills, all they claimed bought with money stolen from the Malaysian people. The cash had even been invested in a Hollywood movie, a film that just happened to be about rampant corruption and fraud. The FBI says it is still investigating. The Prime Minister insists he has done nothing wrong. The $681 million in his account was a gift from a different Saudi prince, most of which he had already returned. And what of the Saudi prince who signed the first ever deal with 1MDB? While there is no evidence that he personally took part in the alleged scheme to defraud 1MDB, leaked company emails do suggest he made a lot of money on the deal.
All Turkey Bin and Dudler knew was that he was getting a vast commission for what was involved here. After the initial payment into PetroSaudi, $77 million was transferred to Prince Turki.